Okay, guys, welcome to the video. Um, the Euros 2020, will I call it preview or guide? Okay, first of all, we're going to be talking about the match day because I've seen some teams, and I'm not sure a lot of people understand the will I say privilege we have on this game compared to the FPL. It's similar to FPL, but quite different in a good way. First of all, like I said, let's talk about match day. As you can see, we have match day one, match day two, match day three, round of 16, and the rest. Now, on this match day is basically a game week, more like the game week you have in FPL, where you start maybe on Friday night kickoff or Saturday up till Sunday, Monday. All those games go on in game week one. So in this match day one, you have all these dates. Match day one consists of the opening game, which is Turkey versus Italy on the 11th, all the way down to the 15th, which the last game is France and Germany. Okay, now we'll talk about that later, but let's start up with filling up our squad. And there are rules for this. In the squad, it's just like normal FPL. You have your five defenders, five midfielders, and three forwards with two goalkeepers. Now you have the opportunity to pick three players per team on the group stage. Then round of 16, you can pick four players, and quarterfinals, five players, semifinals, six players per team, and finals, eight players. Why is that? First of all, in the final, there are only two games. There, two teams competing, of which two teams have 11 players starting, and eight gives you the opportunity to pick like eight players from one team and eight from another team if you would actually like or want that. Depending, you can also pick six a piece, five, any amount you want, but it's capped at eight per team. That's in terms of teams you can number of players from the team you can put into your own personal squad. Now let's go ahead to pick players. Let's say we start with Lukaku. Let me just adjust this to forwards first of all. Lukaku, Ronaldo, Depay. Then on the midfield area, let's go to midfield. On the midfield, we can go De Bruyne, Kimmich, Chiesa, Alaba, De Jong. Um, who else? Okay, that's five complete. Now we'll move over to defenders. And on the defender side, let's go Delete, Kier, Torres, Robertson, Denier. Okay, we're left with 6.5 for the goalkeeper. Remember, you can't go above the budget of 100 million, but because this is a mock team, so it's not like let me take away the Bruyne and bring in somebody, a midfielder on that 7.5 bracket. Okay, let's go check. Okay, this is it. This is our mock team now. Okay, on this part, it's best to keep it on date so you know what time these players are playing. Now, like I said, in that match day, I think I was going to come back to it. On the match day gives you the opportunity to substitute players manually without the game automatically substituting a player who doesn't play for you. Or let's say you have a player who plays on a certain day and doesn't give you enough points like you wanted. Maybe a defender ends up conceding and giving you two points. Or maybe you now feel like a player on your bench might give you better points and he's far off. Of course, the other player played, so he can't automatically be subbed in because he played. In that case, you can just switch a player who is playing on the next day. Like you see, when Turkey and Italy play on the 11th, there is a substitution window until 2 o'clock, which Wales and Switzerland kick off. So between this period, you can swap out any player from either top or Italy which have played, and you're not satisfied with the opponent. You can swap out that player for any player in the upcoming days, as long as it's in that match day. And then okay, you pick a player on this day as well, and that player ends up not playing well, not enough points. You can also have a position window to change that before the kickoff on the next day. Okay, you get what I'm saying. You can also do that with your captain. Let's say we pick this team and captain a player like Chiesa now. Let's say we captain Chiesa. It's best to captain a player who starts on a day before other players. Let's say you captain Chiesa now and he ends up not doing well. You can easily change your captain during this substitution window. You can change your captain to the player on the next day. So it's best to start your match day with players who are starting earlier because you can automatically switch them. Let me give you an example. Ronaldo now starts his own game on the 15th. Meanwhile, Denaya, Alaba, and De Jong start on days quite earlier than him. So in this situation, you can just start them. You start them and keep Ronaldo on the bench, knowing that if they give you much points, you just switch. You just leave them as they are. If they give you much points, you leave them as they are. But if you're not satisfied with their points, then you can always switch them down to Ronaldo. You can just do that because it starts on the last day. So it gives you enough time and enough, will I say, chance to use your substitution window because you have to maximize that. They gave that for a reason. So always take note of the date. I haven't saved this team, but if I have, then Donnarumma will be the one starting instead of Radecki, the Finland goalkeeper. Because if Donnarumma starts and ends up not keeping a clean sheet or something, you can easily substitute him as long as he doesn't do that before the next let's say deadline on the next day. As long as he has been within the substitution window. Not mind you, it's not before the Finland game. It's before the first game of the matches. So you're taking out Donnarumma for the Finnish goalkeeper. You have to do that in the substitution window before the 2 o'clock when Wales and Switzerland game kicks off. And also you can do that to your captain. So best captain on that day would be maybe somebody from Italy, an Italian player. If I picked Insigne, Immobile, or any other player, even a defender, maybe you think you're confident with them keeping a clean sheet. Captain Bonucci, Florenzi, Spinazzola, all those players, and captain them. And if along the line you see that they don't play well, just before 2 o'clock on the next day, you can swap them to any player on the next day. Let's see who's playing on the 12th according to our mock team. Okay, Denaya. Denaya has a game on the 12th. Lukaku has a game on the 12th. So you can just switch and captain Lukaku. And if Lukaku now doesn't play well on that day, as far as that match is done, you have substitution window as well to change to a player who plays on the next day, the 13th, which will be Depay in this case, or Harry Kane if you have him. And so on and so on. If Depay also doesn't play well, you can also switch the captain to Ronaldo. So it's a fantastic option at the end of the day. So that's basically it. And we also have some, like I say, some chips. Yeah, chips like you have in FPL. Over here you have the wild card and you have limitless. Wild card is just basically the same thing with the FPL wild card. You change your entire team and it remains like that. But the limitless is more like a free hit where you change players in that game week, and after that week or that match day, after that match day, they are gone and you revert to your previous team. So you can also have strategies of yours, of which mine personally is to use my limitless chip on the second game day, because in this group stage we have some teams who have good games on the match day 1 and match day 3. Then their match day 2, like Belgium, Denmark, they have much tougher games in the match day 2 than they have on match day 1 and match day 3. In the group with France and Portugal and the rest, you can also do that because you can use Portuguese players for match day 1, and then match day 2 you just swap in with your limitless chip, which is basically free. You just swap in French players and some other teams who you think have good games for that window, because France will have Portugal match day 3. So in that period, that match day two, you can just maximize and use the French players who play against Hungary in that period, which are limitless. Also, while you're swapping players like that, one of the reasons I suggest to use the limitless on that period is you when you're switching to game week to the round of 16, sorry, you have the opportunity to make unlimited transfers. Transfers in the round of 16 is unlimited because a lot of teams must have been knocked out, and you may have players on teams who have been knocked out, and making those transfers can give you a, will I say, hit or something. But on when in that round of 16, you have the opportunity to just clear out your entire team, and then what's this in quarterfinals, you just use a wild card in the quarterfinals, get teams in, because the more you go, the more free transfers you have. The I think you have about two free transfers per match day, of which only one can be rolled over. So if you're rolling over, you can have three on the next match day, not four. So with three should be enough for you to make enough transfers on the match day three after using your limitless chip on the match day. So that's just my advice. Basically, this is more like like say an advice and a guide video. So like I said, you take note of the match day, which is like the game week, and you take note of the players who you'll be starting. Always start players who play on the days before the other players. Like I said, I've not saved this team. If I were to save it, Donnarumma will be starting instead of this goalkeeper, so that if he doesn't end up giving me enough points like I want, I can easily just swap him to the other players. It's much better to use your transfers by yourself, and of course, the auto transfer is also there if a player doesn't play. But if the player plays, I forgot to add, as long as the player doesn't have a red card, you can always switch him. As long as the player doesn't have a red card, you can switch. As long as the captain doesn't have a red card, you can switch the captain to any other captain you want in that match day. So that's basically it. Thank you for watching the video. I'm just starting, so you can decide to leave a like and subscribe for more content.